that's not this year. What
Nope.
team? What was the either most fun or craziest thing to have happened to you this con?
Oh,
Ooh.
Joe and I know.
Oh, I
Oh,
gotta
we're talking
think.
about
I'm fun.
the overflow room.
Oh,
No,
That was
no.
chaos. We
That
can talk about
was
that.
Yeah, you wanna
organized
talk about that. That's
chaos.
my favorite thing.
Yeah, so 20 minutes before a panel's going to go live.
Oh, no. That's my favorite thing. Let me set you up.
Fine, you
baby.
do it. You do
Shut up,
it.
bud.
All right. Once upon a time in a land. No. Okay. But we have this huge line out for Little Crew, right? And I'm working the door because usually the late night ones, I try to be there because if anybody's going to give grief, I like to be the one to take the grief instead of anybody on the team. The team's worked hard all day, and it's kind of my job to take the bullets. And so I'm working the door, I'm checking the licenses because it's an 18 up thing, and the room fills up. Now I think we could probably get more chairs in that room, even to fire code, maybe not. I don't know, but it filled up really fast, and it doesn't help that on that particular panel there's 4 artists and then the host is from Boss. You got 4 artists and an MC, and they all have a bit of a crew that runs with them to record things and help them with things. So you already start with like 10, 20 people in the room, which pissed off the line, but it is what it is. So as it's filling up, I started early loading in, thinking it was going to take longer to load in and do everything. And I noticed, like Joe said, 20 minutes before, the line's done. And yet it's still wrapping around the post and going back. And Joe and Devo come up to me and like, hey, if you don't need anything, we're going to go ahead and head home for night because they've both been driving in from my house to the con all week. And that's Friday night. So it's the first long day. And like, just a thought, if you will. Do you think that maybe we could throw the signal from in here into the next room? And Joe's like, how? We're not streaming. Like, you're right. So maybe you take the signal from the Mevo camera in this room, captured in that room. I don't know. And that's literally where I left it. And now, Joe, you guys can go and tell the story.
Yeah. So my first thought was because for those that don't know, which is probably most everybody that's listening, the Mevo cameras are wireless, and as long as the computer and the camera are on the same internet signal, they can interact with each other. And so we captured the Mevo, and the Mevo has a built-in microphone. And so my first thought was, okay, we can pull the room ambient noise, but it's not going to be great. So we got it set up. We got it pulling in the Mevo camera. We've got it hooked up into the board that's in the room so that it'll play through the speakers, and the HDMI cable for the TV in there is super long. So the tech table is at the back of the room, the TV's at the front of the room. We've got it all hooked up. It's displaying it. And we're like, okay. And so we report back to you that we've got it set up, but the audio kind of sucks. And that's when you had a really good idea.
So this, by the way, everybody, was within less than 10 minutes. In less than 10 minutes of them thinking they're going to walk out the door. And I thought this crazy, never been done before at Dragon Con or maybe anywhere idea. Boom, they pull it off. And honestly, instantly before the Mevo, I was thinking, John, you'd brought this nice big camera you borrowed. And I was like, oh, maybe we can run an HDMI from that under the wall to the TV. It'll just, but you came up with a better solution. And then I went in to check the audio, and it was bad. But then I had, as always, thanks to Tyra introducing it to me a year ago, I have my newer wireless microphones. So I went, is that computer slot a USB-C? And Joe looks down and is like, it sure is. I'm like, here, plug this in. And sure enough, tested it. And then there was something. John comes from a TV and production background that I didn't realize until this weekend, to be honest. And he kept using the word mux. And the first time he used it, I'm like, what'd you call me? Oh, wait. Yeah, no, I understand what you meant. And he's like, I was like, cool. Can y'all fix it? I'm going to go tell him we're going to load this room. Took the whole line. So everybody follow me. You won't be in the room live, but you will get to see it. I'm going to sit here now and make sure you get to interact with everybody, because there's this thing about asking the artist questions. And then there's this bidding at the end for all the art that they've done. There's the ability to put in suggestions for their drawing. And that's what people were returning. This is the 3rd or 4th year I think we've done it. It's just gotten bigger every year. And so people are returning specifically for that. So one guy was at the front of the line, the second line. He's like, hey, not trying to be that guy, but I spent a lot of money last year on this. I'd like to do it again. I was like, we will make that happen, sir. Don't worry about it. So I was like, we're going on the field trip. Everybody follow me. Walked them around. And about time I go into the room, Joe and Diva are giving a thumbs up. We got the audio working, and we filled Galleria 7 with just a few seats to spare with the people that stuck around.
And then Phil, during the entire panel, kept running back and forth whenever a seat opened up in the primary room.
Oh yeah,
he grabbed a few people from the overflow room and pulled them in there, and because of all that, they ended up and I attribute it largely to this, but also they've been building this over the last couple of years. Between those two factors, they were able to raise, I think they said about $400 more than last year. They raised $1,603 for the charity, for the Dragon Con charity. So that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. And every time someone would leave, Phil would be like, hold the door, don't let anybody in. He'd go running around the thing. He'd bring them back in. Yeah, it was really great. I mean, talk about a team effort. I mean, that was man, that was
crazy.
Impressive.
And that's where I say, there's never a negative to the teams that came before, but this year there was such breathing room with this team of just high energy, high curiosity, willingness to figure it out, willingness to nobody ever said, like Joe naturally, it was not negative. Joe's like, wait, how? And it's like the Beaver said, we're not streaming it because your brain is you're literally trying to figure out the problem. So you're going down a literal path. But the second I went, signal, boom, we'll figure it out. I mean, everybody had that. Everybody had that ability to jump into the chaos and let's see where we land. And then Devo comes around one time, I was like, I thought y'all left. He said, no. Well, I don't remember what excuse you got. At the end of the whole show, right, we empty out the last bit of 7. 6 is still packed to the wall now because as people left, we combined 2 rooms into one, and they raised all the money. Devo's still there. I'm like, Devo, where's Joe? He's, I don't know. I think he's over there in the corner. I'm like, y'all should have left like an hour. And he's like, I had to work the door. I'm like, as long as Joe don't get to a fist
kept
fight,
bringing the paying people in. I mean, that was the point, right? To raise money for charity. So poor Joe had to just suffer in the corner and wait.
So how bad? Because I absolutely,
he knew. We all knew what it was for, right? I mean,
yep.
But
I with Joe, I'd rather have not had to been exposed to some of the things I had to see in that panel.
Oh, I didn't stick. I
know. No, you got away. I envied you in getting away. So that was my favorite / craziest thing. It was so crazy, and it worked.
It did. And I mean, props to Joe through all that. I mean, he knew the Mevo stuff, and that was kudos on him, man.